Admiral Helena Santos stood at the viewport of Lunar Command, her weathered face illuminated by Earth's blue glow. The latest reports from the outer colonies scrolled across her neural interface, each one worse than the last. The Galactic Empire's invasion fleet had crushed humanity's outer defenses like paper, their advanced technology making mankind's best ships look like children's toys. But Helena allowed herself a small smile. Let them think they knew everything about humanity's capabilities. "Admiral, the Blackstar is ready," announced Captain David Chen, his hologram materializing beside her. "Final quantum core calibrations are complete." The USS Blackstar was humanity's best-kept secret, a warship unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. While the Empire relied on conventional energy weapons and shield technology, humanity had spent the last decade pursuing a different path. The Blackstar didn't just break the laws of physics, it rewrote them. "Show me," Helena commanded, and the viewport shifted to a secure feed from the Titan shipyards. There it waited in the shadows of Saturn's rings, a vessel that seemed to drink in light itself. Its hull was covered in geometric patterns that looked almost organic, each line and curve precisely calculated to manipulate quantum fields in ways the Empire's scientists had deemed impossible. Dr. Aria Roman, the ship's chief physicist, appeared in another hologram. "The quantum manifold is stable, Admiral. Our tests confirm we can create localized pockets of altered spacetime at will. The Empire's sensors won't just fail to detect us, they'll actively mislead them about our position." Helena nodded. The Empire thought they understood human technology, had calculated every variable. But they had made a crucial mistake. They assumed humanity would follow the same technological path as every other species, building bigger guns and stronger shields. Instead, humanity had looked at the fundamental laws of the universe and asked, what if we could change the rules themselves? "Status of the crew?" Helena asked. "All volunteers, the best we have," David replied. "Every one of them knows this mission could be one way. They also know what happens if we fail." The Empire had made their intentions clear. Humanity was too chaotic, too unpredictable, to be allowed free rein in the galaxy. They would be integrated into the Empire's rigid hierarchy, their colonies reorganized, their governments dissolved, their innovation and creativity carefully controlled. "The Empire's main fleet will reach Mars in 72 hours, Helena stated, turning to face both holograms. "They expect to find a broken humanity ready to surrender. Instead, they're going to learn why you should never corner a species that turned their own planet's nuclear weapons into propulsion systems." The Blackstar's quantum core hummed to life, its revolutionary drive allowing it to slide between the conventional layers of spacetime. As Helena watched, the massive ship seemed to fade like a ghost, becoming something between real and unreal. "You have your orders," she told David. "Make the Empire regret the day they thought they could cage humanity." "Aye, Admiral." David's hologram snapped a salute before fading. Dr. Raman lingered a moment longer. "Admiral, the quantum calculations suggest interesting possibilities. If our theories are correct, we might be able to do more than just evade their fleets." Helena's smile grew slightly sharper. "You mean we might be able to show them why humans never stopped asking, what if?" "Exactly." Aria's eyes gleamed with the same fire that had driven humanity to the stars. "They think they're the masters of this galaxy. We're about to teach them that the universe is far stranger than their Empire dreams." As the holograms faded, Helena turned back to Earth's gleaming face. Humanity had spent its entire history looking up at the stars, dreaming impossible dreams. Now those dreams would become the Empire's nightmare. The USS Blackstar slipped away from Saturn's rings, carrying with it humanity's greatest weapons: innovation, desperation, and the unshakable refusal to accept defeat. The battle for humanity's future was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. Captain David Chen watched the Imperial fleet through the Blackstar's quantum sensors. Their ships gleamed like polished jewels against the void, each one a masterpiece of conventional engineering. 200 vessels, arranged in perfect geometric formations, advanced toward Mars with absolute confidence. They had no reason to doubt their victory, until now. Quantum manifold at full capacity, Dr. Raman reported from her station, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. Reality distortion field is stable. We're effectively invisible to their standard detection methods. The Blackstar hung in space like a shadow, its revolutionary hull absorbing both light and sensor waves. The Empire's fleet passed within kilometers, their scans sliding off the ship's quantum-warped exterior like water off glass. All hands, battle stations, David ordered quietly. Prepare to execute Operation Looking Glass. Throughout the ship, crews worked in focused silence. Unlike Imperial vessels with their automated systems, the Blackstar required human operators to navigate the dangerous waters between normal space and quantum possibilities. Each crew member had trained for months to manipulate technology that by conventional wisdom shouldn't exist. Sir, Lieutenant Sarah Martinez called from Tactical. The Imperial flagship is in optimal position. Their shields are configured for standard energy weapons. David allowed himself a grim smile. They're expecting lasers and plasma. Show them why humanity never stopped experimenting with the basics of reality itself. The Blackstar's quantum core pulsed, creating a localized bubble of altered space-time. To an outside observer, the ship seemed to blur, existing in multiple positions simultaneously. The Imperial fleet's sensors, designed to detect conventional weapons and ships, registered nothing but ghost images and impossible readings. Execute primary attack sequence, David commanded. The Blackstar struck like a phantom. Instead of conventional weapons, it fired precisely calculated quantum distortions. Each burst created a microscopic area where the laws of physics briefly rewrote themselves. Imperial shields, designed to deflect energy and matter, were useless against weapons that altered reality itself. The first shot struck an Imperial cruiser amidships. For a brief moment, the space occupied by the ship experienced a different set of physical constants. Metal that was solid became liquid, energy fields collapsed, and the proud vessel literally folded in on itself before its quantum state normalized. By all the stars, breathed Lieutenant Martinez, watching the Imperial ship crumple like paper. It actually worked. The Imperial fleet's perfect formation dissolved into chaos. Their sensors couldn't lock onto the Blackstar, their weapons couldn't target it, and their shields might as well have been tissue paper against quantum state weapons. Multiple Imperial ships charging their main guns, Martins reported. They're firing blind, sir. Energy beams and plasma bolts crisscrossed space, but the Blackstar was already elsewhere, its quantum drive allowing it to exist partially outside normal spacetime. The few hits that did land were absorbed by the ship's hull, the energy feeding back into its quantum manifold. Send the broadcast, David ordered. Let them understand exactly what they're facing. On every Imperial ship, displays flicker to life with a simple message in their own language. You thought you understood the rules of war. Welcome to humanity's version of reality. Dr. Raman's voice carried an edge of excitement. Captain, the quantum core is performing beyond specifications. Each weapon's impact is actually strengthening our field. We're not just bending reality. We're teaching it new tricks. The Imperial fleet's attempts at coordination collapsed as the Blackstar struck again and again, each attack coming from a different quantum state, each one demonstrating that humanity had found ways to fight that the Empire had never imagined possible. Imperial ships are breaking formation, Martinez announced with satisfaction. 3 destroyers have suffered catastrophic quantum state collapse. Their flagship is attempting to coordinate a retreat. David leaned forward in his command chair. Don't let them escape. The Empire needs to understand that humanity isn't just another conquest. We're their worst nightmare. A species that looked at the fundamental laws of the universe and said, we can do better. The Blackstar pursued the retreating Imperial ships, its quantum weapons reshaping local reality with surgical precision. Ships that had terrorized 100 worlds found themselves helpless against attacks that bypassed every defense they had ever developed. "Captain," Dr. Raman called out, "I'm detecting unusual quantum resonance patterns in the Imperial ship's debris. Their technology. It's all based on the same fundamental frequency. If we can isolate it." David nodded grimly. "Then we might have found their fatal flaw. Send all data to Admiral Santos." The Empire thought this would be a simple conquest. Instead, they've just started a revolution in warfare itself. As the remaining Imperial ships fled in disarray, the U.S. Blackstar hung in space like a dark promise. Humanity had shown its first card, but they had many more yet to play. The Empire was about to learn why every human child was taught to question everything, even reality itself. Grand Admiral Vexthor stood before the Imperial High Council, his crystalline armor dulled with shame. The holoprojector displayed the destruction of his fleet, ships worth trillions of credits reduced to quantum-twisted debris by a single human vessel. "Impossible," declared High Counselor Zarkax, multiple eyes blinking in disbelief. Their technological level was assessed at bare interstellar capability. They shouldn't possess quantum manipulation technology for another 1,000 years. "The humans don't follow our rules," Vexthor responded. "While we perfected established technologies, they explored paths we dismissed as theoretical. The Blackstar doesn't just use quantum mechanics, it rewrites them." The council chamber erupted in overlapping voices. A species mastering quantum manipulation without first perfecting conventional physics violated every known principle of technological advancement. It was like finding a Stone Age culture with antimatter weapons. "Deploy the Grand Fleet," ordered Emperor Xandor, silencing the chamber. "All 10,000 ships. Show these humans what true Imperial might looks like." In human space, the U.S. Blackstar's victory had sparked something more powerful than any quantum weapon: hope. On dozens of occupied colonies, humans who had lived under Imperial control began to resist. They didn't have quantum drives or reality-warping weapons, but they had something the Empire had never counted on: creativity. On New Eden, farmers reprogrammed agricultural drones to interfere with Imperial communications. On Proxima Prime, miners used their deep-core excavators to collapse Imperial bases into artificially created sinkholes. Each act of rebellion demonstrated humanity's knack for turning everyday tools into weapons. Admiral Santos received the reports with grim satisfaction. The Empire thought beating us would be simple because we were technologically inferior. They're learning that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology, it's our adaptability. The Blackstar, fresh from its victory, underwent rapid modifications. Dr. Raman and her team had analyzed the quantum resonance patterns from the destroyed Imperial ships, discovering something extraordinary. Their entire civilization is built on crystalline quantum technology, she explained to Captain Chen. It's incredibly advanced, but it all operates on the same fundamental frequency, like a trillion-piece orchestra all playing the same note. And we've just invented a way to change the tune, Chen replied, studying the new modifications to their quantum weapons. The Blackstar's success had inspired other human ships to undergo radical transformations, incorporating theories that the Empire had dismissed centuries ago. But the Empire wasn't finished. Their grand fleet emerged from hyperspace like an artificial constellation, 10,000 ships arranged in a formation so vast it could be seen from neighboring star systems. Each vessel carried enough firepower to glass a planet. Admiral Santos watched the tactical displays, showing the Imperial Armada's approach. "They still think this is about firepower," she noted. "They haven't realized that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons. It's our stubborn refusal to play by anyone else's rules." The quantum core of the Blackstar pulsed with new possibilities. Dr. Raman's discoveries about Imperial technology had opened doors that even humanity's most optimistic scientists hadn't imagined. Each Imperial ship was like a tuning fork, waiting for the right frequency to shatter its perfect crystalline structure. All human forces, this is Admiral Santos, Her message reached every resistance cell, every modified ship, every colony fighting for freedom. The Empire thought they could predict our behavior because they believed technological progress could only follow one path. Today, we show them how wrong they were. The battle for Sol was about to begin, but this time, humanity wasn't fighting alone. Every human colony, every resistance fighter, every improvised weapon represented a question the Empire had never thought to ask. What if there was another way? The Grand Fleet advanced with imperial precision, their crystalline ships humming with the same quantum frequency that had served them for millennia. They never suspected that this uniformity, which they saw as perfection, would prove to be their greatest weakness. Humanity was about to teach the galaxy's oldest empire its hardest lesson. True strength doesn't come from perfecting the known, but from daring to explore the impossible. Dr. Arya Raman's hologram hovered over the tactical table aboard Lunar Command, her expression intense as she explained her discovery to Admiral Santos and the assembled human leadership. Behind them, Earth glowed like a blue jewel, protected by the remnants of humanity's conventional fleet. Every Imperial ship, weapon, and shield operates on quantum crystalline technology, she explained, manipulating the holographic display to show the complex lattice structure. It's their civilization's greatest achievement and their critical weakness. They'd spent 10,000 years perfecting a single path of technological development. And we found a way to shatter it, Captain Chen added from his command chair aboard the Blackstar, his hologram flickering slightly due to the quantum interference from nearby Imperial scout ships. The massive Imperial Grand Fleet hung in space like an artificial galaxy, 10,000 ships waiting to crush humanity's resistance. But they hadn't attacked yet. The Blackstar's demonstration of impossible technology had given even their most aggressive commanders pause. The crystalline matrices that power their technology all resonate at specific frequencies, Dr. Raman continued. We've modified the Blackstar's quantum core to emit a counter-frequency. Think of it as an anti-crystal wave that disrupts their entire technological base. Admiral Santos studied the tactical projections. Can we weaponize this discovery fast enough? The Grand Fleet won't wait forever. We already have, Chen replied. Every human ship, colony, and resistance cell has received specifications for what we're calling resonance disruptors. They're crude compared to the Blackstar's quantum core, but they'll work. Humanity is about to show the Empire why diversity in technological development isn't just beneficial, it's essential. The Empire had noticed something was wrong. Their scout ships reported increasing failures in basic systems. Crystal-based computers glitched, quantum communications suffered unexplainable disruptions, and their once-perfect formation began to show signs of strain. Grand Admiral Vexthor felt the change through his crystalline armor, which seemed to sing with discordant frequencies. "Status report," he demanded. "Unknown energy patterns are interfering with our quantum matrices," his science officer reported, mandibles clicking in distress. "The humans, they're not just attacking our ships, they're attacking the fundamental principles of our technology." The Imperial response was predictable. They launched a massive assault, intending to overwhelm human defenses through sheer numbers. 10,000 ships fired their quantum crystal weapons simultaneously, creating a wave of destructive energy that should have annihilated everything in its path. Instead, something unprecedented happened. The Blackstar, positioned at the heart of human space, activated its modified quantum core. The wave of disruptive energy it released didn't just protect human ships. It turned the Empire's own technology against itself. Each crystalline matrix in the Imperial fleet began resonating at conflicting frequencies. "By the eternal stars," breathed Lieutenant Martinez, watching from her tactical station as Imperial ships began to break apart from within. Their own technology is tearing them apart. But humanity's victory wasn't just technological. Across occupied space, human colonists who had studied Imperial technology in secret began launching their own attacks. They didn't need advanced weapons, just an understanding of the frequency it could shatter crystal. Imperial fleet is in disarray, Chen reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Their formations are breaking down. Quantum signatures are becoming erratic. Dr. Raman's hologram smiled grimly. They built their entire civilization on the assumption that their path was the only path. They never imagined that someone would look at their perfect crystalline technology and ask, what if we did it differently? The battle raged across the solar system, but it wasn't fought with conventional tactics. Human ships, equipped with crude but effective resonance disruptors, darted between Imperial vessels. Each attack not only damaged the enemy, but cascaded through their crystalline networks, creating chain reactions of technological failure. Multiple Imperial capital ships are going dark, Martins announced. Their quantum cores are experiencing total harmonic collapse. Admiral Santos watched as humanity's impossible strategy unfolded. The Empire had expected a conventional war, ships against ships, weapons against shields. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy who had turned their greatest strength into their greatest vulnerability. Send word to all human forces, Santos commanded. Operation Crystal Shatter is a success. Prepare for Phase 2. As the Imperial Grand Fleet struggled to maintain coherence, humanity prepared for its boldest move yet. They weren't just going to defeat the Empire's fleet. They were going to show the galaxy that there was more than one path to the stars. The turning point had arrived, and with it, the dawn of a new era in galactic history. Humanity had proven that true advancement doesn't come from perfecting the known, but from daring to imagine the impossible. The Imperial throne world of Christos gleamed like a diamond in space, its crystalline cities refracting starlight in complex patterns. For 10,000 years, it had stood as the ultimate symbol of imperial power and technological perfection. Now it faced something it had never encountered before: change. The USS Blackstar led a fleet of transformed human vessels toward the heart of Empire. Each ship carried resonance disruptors, their crude but effective technology representing humanity's gift for turning understanding into innovation. Behind them came ships from a dozen other species who had watched humanity prove that the Empire's path wasn't the only way forward. Multiple Imperial defense platforms activating. Lieutenant Martinez reported from her tactical station. They're generating a quantum crystalline barrier around the entire system. Captain Chen watched the barrier form, a shimmering wall of pure quantum energy that had protected the Imperial throne for millennia. Dr. Raman, are you seeing this? Already analyzing, Arya replied, her fingers dancing across quantum-sensitive displays. The barrier's impressive. It's the most complex crystalline structure we've ever encountered. But it's still based on their fundamental frequency. Admiral Santos's voice came through the quantum comm, addressing all ships in the Liberation Fleet. The Empire built their civilization on the belief that perfection comes from following a single path. Today, we show them the power of diversity. The Blackstar's modified quantum core pulsed with possibilities. Dr. Raman had turned their understanding of Imperial technology into something new. Not just a weapon to destroy, but a tool to transform. The resonance wave they released didn't shatter the barrier. It changed it. Crystalline structures that had maintained rigid patterns for thousands of years began to shift, adopting new frequencies, new possibilities. The barrier didn't fall. It evolved. On Christos, Emperor Xandor felt the change through the quantum crystalline networks that connected all Imperial technology. Impossible, he whispered, watching as the perfect crystalline structures of his civilization began to transform. The Liberation Fleet passed through the altered barrier, each ship trailing quantum disruption fields that spread change through the Imperial capital's defenses. But they weren't there to destroy. Humanity had learned a better way. Broadcast on all frequencies, Chen ordered. Let them understand what's really happening here. Throughout the Imperial Palace, through every crystalline display and quantum network, humanity's message spread. Your empire wasn't built on perfection. It was built on stagnation. We're not here to destroy your civilization. We're here to free it. The resonance waves continued to spread, but now they carried more than disruption. They carried new patterns, new possibilities, showing how crystal could sing with 1,000 different frequencies instead of one perfect note. Imperial ships that had come to defend their capital found their quantum crystals resonating with new potential. Some tried to fight it, clinging to the old ways. Others, seeing the beauty in change, embraced the transformation. Imperial forces are standing down, Martines reported, wonder in her voice. Their quantum signatures, they're stabilizing at new frequencies. They're adapting. Dr. Raman's calculations had been right. The Empire's technology wasn't just capable of perfection, it was capable of evolution. All it needed was the right push, the right question. What if there was more than one way to be perfect? The revolution that swept through Crystallos wasn't fought with weapons, but with ideas. Humanity hadn't come to conquer the Empire, but to show them what they have forgotten. That true strength comes from diversity, from the courage to explore new paths. Emperor Xandor, watching his perfect world transform, finally understood. The humans hadn't beaten the Empire by being stronger or more advanced. They had won by being different, by daring to question what everyone else had accepted as absolute truth. The USS Blackstar hung in orbit above Crystallos, its dark hull absorbing the light of a new dawn. Humanity had changed the galaxy not through conquest, but through innovation. They had shown that the future belonged not to those who perfected the known, but to those who dared to imagine something new. Admiral Santos stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching as the rigid patterns of imperial civilization gave way to a symphony of possibilities. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. "Tell them that the revolution wasn't won with weapons or ships. It was won with humanity's greatest gift, the ability to look at the impossible and ask, why not?" The galaxy would never be the same. The age of single paths and perfect patterns was over. A new era had begun, one where every species was free to find their own way to the stars. And it had all started because humanity refused to accept that there was only one right way to reach for the impossible.